Chosen ones tomorrow, April 13th, 2025, can be the most wonderful day of your life. God wants it. It may surprise or even shock you to hear what I'm about to say, but if you're seeing this video right now, it's no accident. This is your trumpet blast, your clarion call to rise up and claim the miracle that's hovering at the edge of your reality. We're not talking about wishful thinking or blind optimism. We're talking about an unstoppable surge of divine favor that's poised to break into your life tomorrow. April 13th, 2025. You, dear chosen one, have been wrestling with the weight of your calling, wondering whether that longing in your heart is just a dream or a glimpse of something real. Let today be the day you stand firm in your purpose. If something in your spirit is rumbling with anticipation, like this video, subscribe and comment 77 foot below to declare you're ready for the breakthrough that God Himself is preparing to unveil in the coming hours. Chapter 1. The Magnetic Pull of a Divine Appointment. It started as a subtle hum, a gentle vibe you caught in the air. Whenever you thought about your future, something whispered that your time was near, that your struggles and frustrations were converging for a reason. You might have even shrugged it off, telling yourself that miracles only happen to other people in other places. But in the secret corners of your soul, you knew the heavens had set aside a date, a moment so laden with promise that the very fabric of your life could be woven anew. Now we face tomorrow, April 13th, 2025, a day that's been surging through your instincts like a beacon of hope. Some might dismiss it as just another date on the calendar, but you know better. You feel the magnetic pull of a rendezvous orchestrated by God. Perhaps you've seen flickers of it in your dreams or heard it murmured in your prayers. Now, with the final stretch before dawn, every cell in your body bristles with the sense that something life-changing hovers just beyond the horizon. Yet, let's be real. Waiting for a miracle can feel like dancing on a razor's edge. Old doubts creep in, raising questions about your own readiness. Am I too broken? Too flawed? The answers lie in the quiet confidence that echoes from your destiny. Broken or not, flawed or not, you've been prepared for exactly this moment. Think of everything that shaped you, the battles, the sacrifices, the near defeats you somehow overcame. They weren't random. They were stepping stones, leading you to a day that would eclipse your previous understanding of favor and blessing. This divine appointment is not about luck. It's about alignment, an alignment of your faith, your actions, and God's perfect timing. You may have wondered why certain doors stayed locked or certain relationships fell apart. But in this unfolding tapestry, every closed door was actually a pivot, steering you toward the open portal that stands ready to fling itself wide tomorrow. The question is, will you embrace the nudge in your spirit or chalk it up to happenstance? People around you might notice the unusual spark in your eyes. They may ask what's changed, why you carry yourself with an air of expectancy. Let them wonder, or better yet, speak up. Let them know that you're stepping into a storyline that's bigger than any one person's plan. God wants to reveal a fresh wave of wonders in your life, wonders that defy logic and overshadow the cynicism of the world. This day, April 13th, 2025, is marked by a cosmic exclamation point, and your role is to meet it with unwavering readiness. Breathe deeply now, grounding yourself in the knowledge that your appointment is nigh. Let the swirl of daily chaos fade to a murmur, and tune your ears to heaven's frequency. Feel that silent quake in your chest? That's destiny calling, insisting that you stand at the threshold not with trembling knees, but with a heart blazing in expectancy. Tomorrow stands as a testament that your name isn't forgotten. It's etched into the swirl of God's grand design, shining in letters of inevitability for those who dare to see. Chapter 2. Breaking the Barriers of Fear. In the run-up to this extraordinary date, you might have battled your share of anxieties. Perhaps night visited you with insidious whispers, telling you it's all too good to be true, that past disappointments will repeat themselves. Fear has a cunning habit of conjuring illusions that seem more real than the promise of change. But remember, chosen one, the magnitude of your fear often indicates the magnitude of your calling. That uneasy churn in your stomach is the surest sign that greatness is just around the corner. Tomorrow's potential can feel overwhelming when you consider the risk. What if you step forward and nothing happens? That's precisely where fear thrives, in the gap between hope and uncertainty. But it's also where faith weaves its unstoppable tapestry. Faith isn't about blindly wishing. It's about courageously leaning into the unknown, trusting that your alignment with God's intention will manifest in ways beyond your current imagination. Yes, fear might attempt to drown out that stirring in your gut, but each heartbeat is a drum that refuses to be silenced. It thunders with the knowledge that you are more than your doubts. You see, fear is not just a mental game. It's an emotional guardrail that can keep you tethered to a mediocre reality. It encourages you to shrink back to what's familiar, even if that familiarity stunts your potential. You might have glimpsed a small portion of what tomorrow's miracle could look like. Maybe a sudden career leap, a reconciliation you deemed impossible, or a financial breakthrough that defies logic. When your mind tries to poke holes in these visions, push back. Train yourself to see fear as a catalyst that sharpens your resolve. Fear, in its essence, can become your greatest teacher, steering you to reaffirm the power you carry within. And let's not forget, April 13th, 2025, isn't a day you can passively drift into. It's a day that requires your active participation, your willingness to confront whatever shadows block your path. That might mean severing ties with toxic influences or stepping out of your comfort zone to speak up about what you truly want. Fear will try to convince you that complacency is safer, that your transformation isn't worth the potential heartbreak if things don't pan out. But the only heartbreak worth fearing is the regret of never having tried. By facing your anxieties head-on, you affirm to yourself and to God that you're ready to be entrusted with more. You open the floodgates for divine favor, not by being perfect or fearless, but by being brave enough to stand in your authentic resolve. In that stand, the things that once rattled your bones lose their power, replaced by a calm certainty that resonates from your spirit out into the world. So let fear do its worst. Let it present its list of reasons why tomorrow can't possibly change everything. Then let fate counter with an unwavering roar that says, "Watch me." In that symphony of conflict, you discover the unstoppable momentum that propels you into April 13th with open arms. The difference between those who merely dream and those who seize their destiny is the willingness to wrestle fear into the ground, proving once and for all that your dreams are bigger than your nightmares. Chapter 3. The Surge of Divine Connection. On the eve of this momentous day, you may sense a whisper in your soul that feels both deeply personal and profoundly eternal. It's as though God Himself leans closer, bridging the distance between the heavenly realm and your daily existence. Some call this a download, others a sudden epiphany. Regardless of terminology, it marks the moment you realize that the pulse of creation resonates in your own heartbeat. The God who placed galaxies in motion sees you, knows you, and is orchestrating a plan specifically tailored to your life. This is not an abstract concept or a light wish. It's an intimate communion that invades your routine with glimpses of wonders yet unseen. Perhaps you find yourself spontaneously praying or meditating at odd hours, words pouring out of you, or silence enveloping you in comfort. You start noticing the smallest joys, a sunset that paints the sky in indescribable hues, a conversation with a stranger that nourishes your spirit. These synchronicities act like breadcrumbs, guiding you toward the realization that your tomorrow is not just a date, but a divine appointment loaded with potential. In this surge of connection, you might experience a reversal in perspective. Instead of viewing yourself as a lone figure trying to push through life's struggles, you begin to see the larger tapestry you're woven into. Suddenly, every closed door and every heartbreaking moment in your past appears like a stepping stone. You recognize the hand of God in places you once deemed forsaken. This renewed awareness can flood your heart with gratitude. After all, if the Creator of all things invests such care into your path, who can truly stand in your way? There's power in naming this connection. When you speak aloud, "I believe my steps are ordained," you're not just repeating a comforting phrase. You're aligning your will with the unstoppable force of a cosmic directive. This alignment breaks the chains of scarcity, doubt, and defeat that once pinned you down. The illusions of smallness dissolve, replaced by a reverent confidence that tomorrow, April 13th, 2025, is the next major beat in a song you've been rehearsing your entire life. Yet be mindful. With increased intimacy comes an intensified call to act. Divine closeness isn't designed to pamper you in complacency. It's meant to equip you for bold movement. You might feel prompted to make a phone call you've been dreading, to apply for that dream position you believed was out of reach, or to cut ties with toxic relationships that sabotage your peace. Each obedient step becomes a conduit for miraculous breakthroughs. Conversely, each refusal to heed these nudges can stall the momentum that's building for your benefit. So embrace this sacred tether to the divine. Don't question the supernatural hush that envelops your spirit. Instead, let it propel you forward, trusting that God wouldn't stir your heart this powerfully without the intention to see it through. In that submission to grace, tomorrow ceases to be just another day. It becomes a clarion blast in your spiritual timeline, a day set aside for the blossoming of your purpose. And when you touch that realm of infinite possibility, you realize that no human scheme, no negative voice can eclipse the brilliance of a destiny fashioned by the hand of God Himself. Chapter 4, The Final Eve of Preparation. As the clock ticks closer to midnight, a sense of hush descends. It's not the hush of emptiness, but a sacred stillness that envelopes you with expectation. You may find yourself replaying the highlights and lowlights of your life, feeling a strange blend of nostalgia and excitement. This is the final eve before April 13th, 2025, your day of transformation. You might sit in quiet reflection or pace around the room with nervous energy, compelled by the weight of a tomorrow that stands ready to reshape you from the inside out. During these last hours, distractions will try to swarm your mind like hungry gnats. Old regrets, random tasks, pointless arguments, anything to pull you away from the mission at hand. It's almost as if an invisible force is testing your resolve, verifying whether you genuinely want the breakthrough you've been yearning for. Stand your ground. Let those distractions buzz around you, but keep your gaze locked on the horizon of promise. Discipline your thoughts to stay centered on the miracle that's about to unfold, not the myriad ways it could fail to appear. Spiritual warfare often intensifies at such junctures. A wave of inexplicable fatigue might hit, or a sense of loneliness so deep it defies words. These trials aren't signs of your inadequacy. They're evidence that you're on the cusp of a moment that threatens the normalcy that once confined you. If you're feeling heavy, remember that pressure precedes birth. Diamonds form under relentless stress. The deeper your trial, the more spectacular your emergence. This final eve calls for actionable faith. If there's something you need to do, send an email, write down your vision, or even physically prepare your environment. Do it now. Make space in your home, your schedule, to welcome the shift that's barreling toward you. Show God and show yourself that you're not just playing at expectation, but living it. Empty the clutter, both physically and emotionally, so there's ample room for the newness that will rush in once the day dawns. In this hush, also allow yourself to hope in bold strokes. It's not arrogance to imagine your life change in a dramatic fashion. It's simply aligning with the magnitude of possibility that the divine has always had in store for you. Guard your mouth against confessions of defeat. Speak blessings. Speak confidence. Even if your voice shakes with the enormity of it all, your words carry power, an echo of the creative spirit that hovered at the inception of existence. Yes, the night grows long, and your soul quivers between anticipation and fear. Yet the darkness of these final hours only magnifies the brilliance that's about to break. You're not an observer in someone else's epic tale. You are the protagonist in your own unfolding legend. Come sunrise, the stage will be set, the curtains drawn back to reveal the next scene in your saga. Remember, dear chosen one, that each second you stand in readiness chisels your spirit into the shape of unstoppable faith. An unstoppable faith is the key that unlocks the wonders waiting on the other side of dawn. Chapter 5, Sunrise on the Day of Power. The moment arrives in a flash of gold, breaking across the sky, April 13th, 2025, exactly as foretold. You awaken with your heart thrumming like a war drum. The air itself seems thicker, teeming with expectancy, as if nature is holding its breath to watch what you'll do next. Something about this day feels different in your bones, an undercurrent that whispers, "Today everything changes." You might start your morning with an odd sense of clarity, as though your usual fog has lifted to reveal the path more vividly than ever before. Opportunities that once felt out of your league suddenly appear right within your reach. You see phone numbers you could dial, doors you could knock on, emails you could compose. It's all there, glowing with the unstoppable brilliance of a destiny that has finally come to greet you face to face. The question is, do you step forward or wait for a push? This day radiates a certain authority, an anointing, if you will, making each action carry weight beyond your usual routine. Whether it's a conversation with a colleague, a decision about your health, or a moment of prayer, everything pulses with heightened significance. It's as though the molecules of reality themselves are rallying around you, swirling to create the perfect conditions for your breakthrough. But do not be fooled into thinking it will be effortless. Challenges can still appear, sometimes in the form of unexpected delays, misunderstandings, or last-minute curveballs that test your newly ignited fire. Instead of interpreting these as signs of defeat, view them as the final gauntlet, an opportunity to show the universe and yourself that your resolve is firmer than any fleeting setback. After all, the presence of opposition often confirms you're exactly where you need to be. As midday approaches, you might sense a surge of momentum. That phone call you feared making practically dials itself, or a crucial email flows out of you as if guided by invisible hands. You realize that your prior illusions of limitation were just that, illusions. Each act of faith, no matter how minor, expands the space for greater miracles to rush in. Perhaps you step outside and the sunlight feels like an embrace, warming not just your skin but your spirit. You feel your heart stirring with gratitude for a God who orchestrates moments like these. By evening, your soul vibrates with a sense of accomplishment, whether or not any single massive event has occurred yet. Because deep down, you know the day wasn't about external validation alone. It was about stepping into alignment with the legacy you're meant to leave. If you've honored that calling, you'll find yourself brimming with a peace that defies explanation. The world might call it crazy faith, but for you, it's simply the reality of living as a chosen one on the day you were promised. And so, the sun sets on April 13th with the sense that a grand metamorphosis has just begun. You realize there's more to do, more leaps to take, more obstacles to conquer. Yet the day has proven one irrefutable truth. You are in the center of God's plan, unstoppable in your pursuit of the extraordinary. The day of power might fade into twilight, but the aftershocks of this transformation echo far into the next sunrise. Chapter 6. Claiming the ground you've gained. After the day's seismic shift, whether a lightning bolt revelation or a quieter but profound change, you now stand in the aftermath of wonder. Don't slip into old habits. The ground you've gained will erode if you don't occupy it. You've glimpsed miracles. You've felt the fires of possibility. Will you sustain the flame to claim this new level? Re-examine your routines, relationships, and self-image. The old you who doubted your capacity no longer fits your awakened reality. You might feel an urge to clear neglected spaces, physical or emotional, or distance from toxic ties. Embrace that urge. It's your soul refusing to revert to a smaller version of itself. Others will sense your shift, seeing you stand taller, speak more boldly, or radiate calm authority. Some will celebrate your growth, while others may want to hold you back. Show compassion, but don't shrink. You've worked too hard to yield this ground to others' nostalgia. At times, you may miss your old comfort zone. That's when you recall the surge of courage you felt on April 13, 2025. The moment you realized you could see this through. That memory is a living wellspring of resolve. When routine tasks threaten to pull you back into mediocrity, draw from it. This isn't a solo mission. The same force that fueled your transformation still orchestrates opportunities and alliances. Expect new allies who've walked similar paths or share your higher perspective. Collaborations will multiply your impact. So don't isolate. Now is the time to form bonds that fortify your elevated stance. Keep your connection with God vibrant. Don't let that channel go quiet just because you've tasted grace. Prayer, meditation, or worship, whatever keeps you aligned, remains your lifeline, fueling your stamina. When storms try to unseat you, your forward march continues. This ground is not a plateau, but a launching pad. You came this far not to bask in a fleeting triumph, but to carve out a lasting legacy. You, dear chosen one, have not only lived through a miraculous day, but decided to make its impact permanent. Cling to that choice. Let it guide your every breath, forging a future propelled by the unstoppable momentum of a destiny now fully underway. Chapter 7. The Unfolding Days Ahead. With April 13th, 2025 now behind you, the true adventure begins. That date was never your finish line. It was a lightning that split your sky wide open. The coming weeks and months will show just how deep and expansive this transformation can be. Miracles don't always trumpet themselves. Sometimes they emerge through small daily steps that interlock into an unstoppable chain reaction. Your perspective shifts in ways that surprise even you. Old barriers seem absurd after what you experienced. You say yes where you once said no. Stand firm where you once hesitated. Doubt still lingers, but it's background noise now, not a crippling roar. Each sunrise finds you not dreading the day, but anticipating it, because the same divine force that orchestrated your breakthrough still weaves opportunities into your path, urging you forward. You might catch your reflection and notice a new aura, quiet authority, not arrogance. You walk under a higher banner than random chance. When people seek your guidance, you don't grope for words. They flow from the certainty you tapped into on April 13th. Others recognize the authenticity and long to taste that radical freedom for themselves. Challenges will remain. The world continues its cycles and personal battles arise. But you stand on the far side of a cosmic threshold, your cells echoing with the memory of that pivotal day. No adversity can truly shake a foundation built on unstoppable faith, unless you let go, which you won't. Once you've savored this faith, returning to stale unbelief becomes unthinkable. Now each new horizon calls you to dream bigger. A miracle isn't static. It's an invitation to further wonders. Maybe you launch a venture once deemed impossible, or undertake a mission, personal or global, that once felt out of reach. You're no longer who you were, and your life will reflect this truth in unstoppable ways. As the dust settles, a new stirring grows within you, hinting at fresh revelations and leaps of faith yet to come. April 13th was the spot. Now the real blaze begins. Step forward, chosen one, with eyes wide and heart ablaze. The masterpiece of your destiny is still being painted, each stroke guided by the unseen hand that shaped you all along. And as you forge ahead, that miraculous hum follows in your wake, declaring a future where your calling reigns supreme, unstoppable, and forever unfolding.